Most people think emergency food storage is only for extreme preppers, people with basements full of buckets, shelves packed to the ceiling, and thousands of dollars spent on freeze-dried meals. But that is not the truth. The truth is, most families do not need to start with a bunker. They do not need to start with a generator, a year of food, or a perfect survival plan. They need to start with one simple question. If something happened this week, and you had only $100 to prepare, what would you buy first? That question matters more than most people realize, because the biggest mistake beginners make is not failing to prepare. The biggest mistake is spending their first $100 on the wrong things. They buy snacks instead of meals. They buy food that needs refrigeration. They buy expensive survival products with fancy labels but very few calories. They buy random cans without thinking about protein, water, cooking, shelf life, or how their family will actually eat during stress. And when an emergency finally happens, they discover something painful. Having food in the house is not the same as having an emergency food plan. So today, we are going to build a beginner emergency food list using only $100 at Walmart. Not a perfect list, not a luxury list, not a list made for someone with unlimited money. This is a realistic starter list for regular people who are worried about grocery prices, storms, power outages, job loss, supply problems, or simply the uncomfortable feeling that the world has become less predictable. And before we start, understand this clearly. Prices can change by city, by store, by brand, and by week. So this is not about exact pennies. This is about strategy. This is about knowing which foods give you the most survival value for the least amount of money. Because if you walk into Walmart with $100 and no plan, that money can disappear fast. But if you walk in with a smart list, that same $100 can give your family a real emergency cushion. The first thing beginners need to understand is that emergency food is not just about buying food that lasts a long time. It is about buying food that solves problems. In an emergency, you need calories because your body still needs energy. You need protein because rice alone will not keep you strong. You need fats because fats are dense, filling, and important. You need foods that require little cooking because power may be out. You need foods your family will actually eat, because a pantry full of strange items becomes useless if everyone refuses to touch them. And you need variety, because eating the same thing every meal becomes harder than people imagine. That is why this list is built in layers. The first layer is the calorie base. These are the foods that keep people full. The second layer is protein. These are the foods that help meals feel real and keep your body functioning. The third layer is quick food. These are items you can eat with very little cooking. The fourth layer is flavor and comfort. In a crisis, morale matters. A boring pantry may keep you alive, but a pantry with flavor keeps people calmer. The final layer is practical support, because food is only useful if you can open it, prepare it, and stretch it. So let's start with the backbone of the list, rice. Rice is one of the smartest emergency foods a beginner can buy. It is cheap, simple, filling, and easy to combine with almost anything. A 5-pound bag of white rice at Walmart is often around $5, depending on the store. For this beginner list, I would buy 2 bags of white rice. That gives you 10 pounds of rice for roughly $10. 10 pounds may not sound dramatic, but cooked rice expands, fills plates, and turns small amounts of beans, tuna, canned chicken, or vegetables into real meals. White rice is better than brown rice for long-term emergency storage because brown rice has more natural oils and can go bad faster. Brown rice is healthy for everyday eating, but for a simple beginner pantry, white rice is usually the safer storage choice. Store it in a dry place, away from heat, moisture, and pests. If you want to improve later, you can move it into sealed containers or mylar bags. But for a beginner, just getting the rice into your pantry is already a step forward. Next, buy dry beans. Beans are one of the most powerful budget survival foods in America. They are cheap, filling, full of protein and fiber, and they work perfectly with rice. Pinto beans, black beans, and lentils are all good choices. At Walmart, dry beans can often be found very cheaply, especially in 2-pound or 4-pound bags. For this list, I would buy 4 pounds of pinto beans and 2 pounds of lentils if possible. Why lentils? Because lentils cook faster than many other dry beans. Pinto beans are great, but they take longer and usually need soaking if you want them to cook efficiently. Lentils can cook more quickly, making them useful in a power-saving situation. If you only have a small camping stove, limited fuel, or a short window to cook, lentils can be a smarter emergency food than many beginners realize. Together, rice and beans create the foundation of this pantry. They are not exciting, but they are powerful. They are the foods that turn a small budget into a real food reserve. If you are starting from zero, do not begin with expensive survival meals. Begin with rice and beans. Now let's add oats. Old-fashioned oats are one of the best breakfast foods for emergency storage. They are cheap, filling, and easy to prepare. You can cook them with water. You can add peanut butter. You can add sugar, cinnamon, raisins, powdered milk, or even a little jam. A large container of oats at Walmart can often cost only a few dollars, and it gives you many breakfasts from one purchase. For this list, buy one large container of old-fashioned oats. This gives your pantry a morning option, which matters more than people think. During a crisis, families need routine. Children especially need routine. A simple bowl of oatmeal in the morning can make a stressful day feel more normal. It is not just food, it is stability. Now we move to pasta. Pasta is another cheap calorie base. Like rice, it stretches other foods. A simple box of pasta with canned tomato sauce can become dinner. Pasta with tuna can become a filling meal. Pasta with canned chicken and soup can become a quick casserole-style dish. For this beginner list, buy 4 1-pound boxes of pasta. Choose simple shapes like spaghetti, elbow macaroni, or penne. Do not overthink it. Buy what your family already eats. Pasta is not perfect survival food because it requires water and cooking, but it is familiar, affordable, and comforting. In a short-term emergency, familiar food is valuable. People are already anxious. They do not need every meal to feel strange. Now add pasta sauce or canned tomatoes. This is where many beginners make a mistake. They buy rice, beans, and pasta, but they forget flavor. Then, when they finally need to eat from their pantry, every meal feels plain. That is why I would add 2 jars of pasta sauce or several cans of diced tomatoes. Pasta sauce gives you quick meals. Canned tomatoes can be used with rice, beans, pasta, soup, chili, or stews. If your budget allows, buy pasta sauce because it is ready to use and already seasoned. If you want more flexibility, buy canned diced tomatoes. Either way, do not build a pantry that has calories but no taste. A crisis meal should still feel like a meal. Now let's add canned beans. You may wonder why we need canned beans if we already bought dry beans. The answer is simple. Canned beans are emergency convenience food. Dry beans are cheaper, but they require time, water, and heat. Canned beans can be opened and eaten quick. During a power outage, storm, or short-term disruption, canned beans may be more useful than dry beans. For this list, buy 6 cans of beans. Black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, or chili beans are all good. Canned beans can be added to rice, eaten with tortillas, mixed into soup, or turned into quick chili with canned tomatoes. They are not as cheap per serving as dry beans, but they save time and fuel. Now we need canned meat. This is one of the most important parts of the list, and it is also where money can disappear quickly. Canned meat is more expensive than rice and beans, but it gives your pantry protein that is ready to eat. For a beginner on a $100 budget, do not try to buy everything. Choose carefully. I would buy a mix of canned tuna and canned chicken. Tuna is often cheaper and easy to use. Canned chicken costs more, but it can make meals feel more normal. With rice, pasta, soup, or tortillas, canned chicken can turn basic pantry food into something closer to a regular dinner. For this list, buy 6 cans of tuna and 2 large cans of chicken if the price works in your store. If canned chicken is too expensive, buy more tuna or canned sardines if your family eats them. The rule is simple. Do not buy emergency food your family hates. If nobody in your house eats sardines, do not buy 10 cans because someone online said they are healthy. Buy useful food, but keep it realistic. Now add peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of the best emergency foods for beginners. It is calorie-dense, shelf-stable, filling, and does not require cooking. You can eat it with bread, crackers, oats, tortillas, or even by the spoonful if needed. In an emergency, foods that do not require cooking become extremely valuable. For this list, buy 1 large jar of peanut butter. If your family has allergies, replace it with another shelf-stable spread or canned protein option. But for most households, peanut butter is one of the smartest items in a low-budget emergency pantry. Now we need crackers. Crackers are not the cheapest calories in the world, but they serve an important purpose. They are ready to eat. They can be paired with peanut butter, tuna, canned chicken, or soup. If you have no power, no stove, or no time to cook, crackers become a fast meal base. For this list, buy 1 or 2 boxes of saltine crackers or whole grain crackers. Do not spend too much here. This is not the foundation of the pantry. It is a backup, a convenience item, and a way to make canned foods easier to eat. Now let's add canned soup or chili. Canned soup is not always the cheapest option, but it is useful because it is simple. In an emergency, simple matters. A can of soup can be heated quickly, or in some cases eaten at room temperature if necessary. Canned chili is even more filling, because it often includes beans and meat. For this list, buy 4 cans of soup or chili. Choose hearty options, not watery soups that leave people hungry. Look for chili with beans, chicken noodle, vegetable beef, lentil soup, or other filling varieties. These are the foods you will be grateful for when nobody wants to cook a complicated meal. Now we need canned vegetables. Some people skip vegetables in emergency food lists because they focus only on calories. That is a mistake. Calories matter, but variety matters too. Canned vegetables add nutrition, color, and balance. They also make rice and pasta meals feel less repetitive. For this list, buy 6 cans of vegetables. Corn, green beans, peas, carrots, and mixed vegetables are all fine. Choose what your family already eats. If your children hate peas, do not buy 6 cans of peas. Buy corn or green beans instead. Emergency food should not become a daily argument. Now add canned fruit. Canned fruit is not just a dessert. It is comfort food. It gives sweetness, quick energy, and variety. In a stressful situation, a small serving of fruit can help morale. This matters especially for children and older adults. For this list, buy 4 cans of fruit. Peaches, pears, pineapple, fruit cocktail, or applesauce cups can all work. Choose fruit packed in juice when possible, but do not let perfect become the enemy of prepared. If your budget is tight, any shelf-stable fruit is better than none. Now we need powdered milk or shelf-stable milk. This is not essential for every family, but it can be extremely useful. Powdered milk can be used with oats, baking mixes, coffee, or simple meals. Shelf-stable milk cartons are easier but may cost more. For a beginner emergency pantry, powdered milk usually gives better value. Buy 1 small box or pouch of powdered milk if it fits the budget. If your family does not use milk, skip it and put that money toward more canned protein. The key is not to follow a list blindly. The key is to build a pantry your family can actually use. Now add cooking basics. This is where many emergency food lists fail. They tell you to buy rice, beans, pasta, and oats, but they forget the small ingredients that make food edible. Salt is one of the cheapest and most important pantry items. You also want sugar, cooking oil, and basic seasoning if you can fit them into the budget. For this $100 list, buy salt, sugar, and a small bottle of cooking oil. If you already have these at home, do not buy extra right now. Use the money for protein or canned goods. But if your pantry is truly empty, these basics matter. Salt makes food taste better. Sugar can be used in oatmeal, tea, baking, or quick energy. Cooking oil adds calories and helps prepare rice, beans, and pasta meals. A pantry with no fat can feel unsatisfying even if it has enough calories. Now let's add bouillon cubes or seasoning packets. Bouillon is a small item with huge value. It can turn plain rice into flavored rice. It can turn beans into soup. It can make lentils taste better. It can help you stretch meals without spending much money. Chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, or vegetable bouillon all work. For this list, buy 1 jar or box of bouillon. This may be one of the cheapest ways to improve your entire emergency pantry. If you have ever eaten plain beans with no seasoning, you already know why this matters. Now add tortillas or shelf-stable bread alternatives. Fresh bread does not last long, so it is not the best emergency storage food. But tortillas often last longer than regular bread, and they are very useful. You can make peanut butter wraps, tuna wraps, bean burritos, or quick meals with canned chicken. For this list, buy 1 or 2 packs of tortillas if the dates are good. If you cannot find tortillas with a decent shelf life, skip them and buy extra crackers or pasta. Again, this is about practical value, not perfection. Now add instant mashed potatoes. This may surprise some beginners, but instant mashed potatoes are a smart emergency food. They are lightweight, cheap, easy to prepare, and comforting. They require hot water for best results, but they cook quickly and can be paired with canned chicken, gravy, soup, or vegetables. Buy 1 or 2 packets or a small box of instant mashed potatoes. This gives your pantry another meal base besides rice and pasta. Variety helps prevent food fatigue. Now let's talk about water. This video is about a food list, but water cannot be ignored. Food is important, but water is more urgent. You can have the perfect pantry and still be in trouble if you have no drinking water. If you do not already have water stored at home, part of your first $100 should go toward water. Buy at least a case or two of bottled water if your budget allows, or fill clean containers at home as a no-cost first step. The point is simple: do not build a food pantry and forget the one thing every meal and every person needs. Rice, beans, oats, and pasta all become harder to use without water. Now let's put the approximate list together. 2 5-pound bags of white rice, 4 to 6 pounds of dry beans or lentils, 1 large container of oats, 4 boxes of pasta, 2 jars of pasta sauce or several cans of tomatoes, 6 cans of beans, 6 cans of tuna, 2 cans of chicken if possible, 1 large jar of peanut butter, 1 or 2 boxes of crackers, 4 cans of soup or chili, 6 cans of vegetables, 4 cans of fruit, powdered milk if your family uses it, salt, sugar, cooking oil, bouillon, tortillas or extra crackers, instant mashed potatoes, and water if you do not already have it. Depending on your local Walmart prices, this should land somewhere close to $100. If your store is more expensive, remove the least important items first. Do not remove rice, beans, oats, peanut butter, canned protein, or water. Remove comfort items before foundation items. That means if the total is too high, skip canned fruit before you skip rice, skip tortillas before you skip beans, skip powdered milk before you skip protein. The foundation always comes first. Now let's talk about what this pantry can actually make. With rice, beans, canned tomatoes, and seasoning, you can make rice and beans. With pasta, sauce, and canned vegetables, you can make a simple pasta dinner. With oats, peanut butter, sugar, and powdered milk, you can make filling breakfasts. With tuna and crackers, you have a no-cook meal. With canned chicken, rice, and soup, you can make a hearty dinner. With lentils, bouillon, and canned vegetables, you can make soup. With tortillas, beans, and canned meat, you can make wraps or burritos. With instant potatoes, canned chicken, and vegetables, you can make a comfort meal. This is what beginners need to understand. Emergency food is not about individual items. It is about combinations. 1 can of tuna is not exciting, but tuna plus crackers is lunch. Rice is boring, but rice plus beans plus tomatoes plus seasoning is dinner. Oats are basic, but oats plus peanut butter and sugar is breakfast. The power is not in one item. The power is in how the items work together. Now let's build a simple 7-day plan from this pantry. Day 1 breakfast could be oatmeal with peanut butter. Lunch could be tuna and crackers. Dinner could be rice and beans with canned vegetables. Day 2 breakfast could be oatmeal with sugar or powdered milk. Lunch could be soup with crackers. Dinner could be pasta with sauce and canned vegetables. Day 3 breakfast could be peanut butter on tortillas. Lunch could be canned beans with rice. Dinner could be canned chicken with instant mashed potatoes and green beans. Day 4 breakfast could be oatmeal again, but with canned fruit. Lunch could be tuna wraps. Dinner could be lentil soup with bouillon and vegetables. Day 5 breakfast could be oats with peanut butter. Lunch could be chili and crackers. Dinner could be pasta with tomatoes and beans. Day 6 breakfast could be powdered milk oatmeal. Lunch could be peanut butter crackers. Dinner could be rice with canned chicken and corn. Day 7 breakfast could be oatmeal with fruit. Lunch could be soup or beans. Dinner could be rice, lentils, and vegetables. Is this a luxury meal plan? No. Is it perfect nutrition? No. But is it far better than having nothing when prices jump, storms hit, power goes out, or money gets tight? Absolutely. Now let's talk about what not to buy with your first $100. Do not start with expensive freeze-dried meals unless you already have your basics covered. They may be useful for some people, but they are not the best first purchase for most beginners on a tight budget. Do not buy mostly snacks. Chips, cookies, candy, and soda disappear fast and do not build real food security. A few comfort items are fine later, but they should not be the foundation. Do not buy food that requires refrigeration unless you plan to eat it immediately. Emergency food should not depend on the power staying on. Do not buy giant quantities of foods your family has never tried. This is a common beginner mistake. They buy a huge bag of something because it is cheap, then discover nobody likes it. Start with familiar foods. Do not buy dented, leaking, rusty, or damaged cans. A cheap can is not a good deal if it is unsafe. Do not buy only dry foods. Rice, beans, oats, and pasta are excellent, but if you have no fuel, no water, or no way to cook, you need ready-to-eat options too. That is why canned beans, tuna, soup, peanut butter, and crackers matter. Now let's talk about storage. Once you bring this food home, do not just throw it into random cabinets and forget it. Pick one area for your emergency pantry. Keep it cool, dry, and dark. Heat destroys food faster. Moisture ruins dry goods. Pests can destroy rice, beans, oats, and pasta. If you can, put dry foods into sealed containers. Even simple plastic storage bins are better than leaving everything loose. Write the purchase month on items with a marker. Put newer items in the back and older items in the front. This is called rotation, and it is one of the simplest ways to avoid wasting money. Emergency food should not be a museum. It should be a working pantry. Eat from it sometimes. Replace what you eat. This keeps the food fresh and keeps your family familiar with it. This is the part many beginners miss. The goal is not to buy emergency food once and never touch it again. The goal is to create a small system. You buy food your family already eats. You store it properly. You use it before it expires. You replace it when you shop. Over time, your pantry grows without panic. Now let's talk about the mindset behind the $100 list. Preparedness is not fear. Preparedness is responsibility. It is not about believing the world is ending tomorrow. It is about understanding that normal life can be interrupted. A storm can close roads. A power outage can ruin refrigerated food. A job loss can make grocery money tight. A supply problem can empty shelves. Inflation can make the same cart cost more than it did last year. And sometimes the emergency is not national. Sometimes it is personal. For one family, an emergency might be a hurricane. For another family, it might be a winter storm. For another, it might be losing overtime hours at work. For another, it might be a medical bill that eats the grocery budget. In all of those situations, a small emergency pantry gives you breathing room. That breathing room matters. It means you do not have to rush to the store during panic buying. It means you do not have to pay the highest prices at the worst time. It means your children can still eat breakfast if the paycheck is delayed. It means you can help an elderly parent or a neighbor. It means you have options. And options are what emergency food really buys you. Now, should this $100 list be your final pantry? No, this is only the beginning. After you build the first layer, your next goal should be to repeat the process slowly. Add another bag of rice next month. Add more canned meat when it goes on sale. Add extra peanut butter. Add more canned vegetables. Add water. Add a manual can opener if you do not already have one. Add batteries, flashlights, basic medicine, hygiene supplies, and pet food if you have animals. But do not let the bigger list stop you from starting. Many people never prepare because they think preparedness has to be perfect. They watch videos with massive storage rooms, expensive gear, and complicated systems, and they feel like they are already too far behind. But the truth is, every prepared household started with a first step. Sometimes that first step was just one extra bag of rice, one extra jar of peanut butter, one extra case of water. The important thing is to start. Now imagine two families. The first family hears about rising grocery prices, storms, and shortages, but they keep saying, "We'll deal with it later." Every week they go to the store and buy only what they need for the next few days. Their cabinets are almost empty. Their freezer is full, but if the power goes out, most of that food is at risk. They have no water stored, no backup meals, no plan. The second family is not rich. They are not extreme preppers. They are not panic buying. But one weekend, they take $100 and build a small emergency pantry. Rice, beans, oats, pasta, tuna, peanut butter, soup, vegetables, fruit, water. They put it on a shelf. They write dates on it. They know what meals they can make. Then something happens. Maybe it is a storm. Maybe the roads close. Maybe the store shelves are thin. Maybe prices jump again. Maybe the paycheck is short. The first family feels panic immediately. The second family still has stress, but they also have a cushion. They have meals. They have time. They have choices. That is the difference one small pantry can make. So if you are a beginner, do not overcomplicate this. Do not wait until you can afford a perfect setup. Do not wait until you have shelves, buckets, mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, and a full storage room. Those things can come later if you want them. Today the goal is simple. Walk into Walmart with a plan, spend your first $100 wisely, and build a pantry that can actually feed people. Start with the basics. Buy foods that last. Buy foods that combine into meals. Buy foods your family already eats. Balance dry goods with ready-to-eat foods. Do not forget water. Do not forget a manual can opener. Do not forget flavor. And most importantly, do not forget that the best emergency pantry is not the one you dream about building someday. It is the one you actually start today. Because when shelves are full, nobody feels urgency. When prices are normal, nobody thinks about tomorrow. When the lights are on, nobody thinks about the power grid. When the paycheck arrives, nobody thinks about how quickly things can change. But preparedness is not built during panic, it is built before panic. And that is why a simple $100 Walmart emergency food list matters. It is not about fear. It is about protecting your family from the most common emergency of all, being unprepared when life suddenly changes. So the next time you go to Walmart, do not just shop for the week. Take one small step towards shopping for the unexpected. Add 1 bag of rice, add 1 bag of beans, add a jar of peanut butter, add a few cans of tuna, add oats, add soup, add water. Do it slowly if you have to, do it quietly if you want to, but do it, because the families who prepare early do not need to panic later.